Greetings and salutations, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher. I recently saw a video done by one Chrissie of divine dark skin fame, and I gotta give her some applause, some kudos, some credit, some props. Shout out to Miss Chrissie for making this particular point in her video. A lot of women online, especially in the YouTube sector, or YouTube, especially the so-called black sector of YouTube, they always throw this word around called divesting. They're divesting from the black community. Now, Chrissie made a comment. I guess she had a little exchange with one Brooklyn Blue, aka Kendall St. Charles, and Crystalline Carrison of Beyond Black and White. And I'm so glad that a black woman said this. She said, and I would even throw in the mix Simone 5'6", because she often talks about divesting from Blackistan, or the black community, or the black amalgam, or the black diaspora. I'm so glad she said it. And she said this. She basically said, did you guys really divest? Because if you completely divested from someone, you wouldn't keep speaking about the party that you're divesting from. Now, I looked up that word divest according to the American Heritage Dictionary. What does it mean to divest? To strip as of clothes, so you're taking your clothes off. So in this sense, I would say, metaphorically speaking, you're taking off the black community. 2, to deprive as of rights or property, dispossess. B, to free of or rid. 3, to sell off or otherwise dispose of, like a company disposes of another sector of the company. So her argument, and I agree with this, is if you have truly divested, why are you broadcasting it? Why scream at the top of your lungs about it? Why not just divest? Why not just find your one mate that you like, regardless of color or religion or class or whatever, and be with them and ride off into the sunset and quietly sit down and shut up? And me, I'm of that particular opinion. I mean, if you feel that the black man isn't for you, or the black community is not for you, and leave, just leave. Don't make any announcements. Just silently, without fanfare or pomp and circumstance or pageantry, just leave. Love the one you love, be with the one you be with, and just be out. So Chrissie pointed this out, and I can see where she's coming from. I'm glad she said this. That this may be sort of the middle finger to those black men who are responsible for their pain. Let's say it was a deadbeat dad. Let's say it was a guy behind on child support. So them saying, hey, we divest from you black men, is probably like a battle cry. A sort of, I'm in pain, I'm upset, I'm angry, there might be some hostility there. There might still be some bitterness there. So this is my way of hurling it back at you, so to speak. And there's one thing she also said that sort of got my attention, which was many of those that say they divest have one foot in the so-called black community and one foot out of it. So we're trying to be in both places. Now, it's interesting that she used that turn of phrase, because W.E.B. Du Bois in his book, The Souls of Black Folk, often talked about how black people in this particular society, and now he was writing this back in the early 1900s, and I think it still is applicable to today, that the black people of today, we live in a world of two-ness. We live in our own subculture, and then we live in the dominant culture as well, and we sort of have to maneuver between both cultures, whether we want to or not. And I've even said in one of my vids, I said, if you leave so-called Blackistan, where you're going to go, where you are truly celebrated and not tolerated. There may be good on an individual level, but on a collective level, as Sergeant Willie P. has said, on a collective level, it's not a real solution if you're really about uplifting and elevating your people. And in this case, black people, or in Chrissie's case, black women. If you're really about the elevation of the black woman, the whole let's jump the fence and let's interracially date isn't going to work on a collective level. And even being quote unquote race loyal may not always help either, because I'll admit that, hey, the black man is crazy as hell in this country. A number has been done on us collectively as a people, both men and women. So it's a little tricky out here when you're looking for someone to be with. So yes, pick your poison. I like what she said. I like her little clapback. Not because I'm dumping on the sisters. Just that's a real valid point. If you truly divest, you wouldn't speak on it. You would just do it and be done. Not speak on it, not screaming at the top of your lungs, not holler and blow trumpets and have a fireworks show on it. Just do you, be out, and shut up, basically. I mean, and I don't mean that in a shut up, you can't have the right to speak, but if you really truly are over the thing or it's not a big deal to you, you wouldn't even pay any mind to it. But you obviously care because you keep bringing the subject up. So kudos to Chrissie's magical clapback, her wonderful clapback. I give her props. And I'm not saying that just because it supposedly favors me, because I don't have a problem with dating a black woman or seeing a black woman or marrying a black woman. I don't have a problem with that. Just, I don't need a trumpet and a parade to talk about it, you know? Well, that's my 2 cents. Peace.